Hi guys, my name is Karan Kera and I'm currently in the third year of studying my economics degree at the University of Nottingham. Introverts are often energized by socializing with a smaller group of people, typically close friends. They often prefer spending time alone and need time to recharge after large social gatherings. This video is for anyone who feels they are introverted and is a bit anxious or nervous about going to this new university environment. To begin with, I feel there's this big misconception with introverts that they're either antisocial or quite shy and generally don't like talking to people, when in reality that's not the case. I'm, by all intents and purposes, an introvert. I prefer closer friends and like meeting at a pub or at a restaurant or at the library or just in small groups, because I feel quite drained by large social gatherings. As someone who struggles with a bit of social anxiety and just generally being in large groups of people, it's definitely a preference of mine to be in a more focused group of people. I remember at the start of university I had this constant feeling where I didn't quite understand where I fitted in and really struggled to talk to people, was very hesitant. Eventually mustered up the courage to go to these different social gatherings like clubs and like different society balls and push myself outside of my comfort zone in order to experience these different things. Thankfully, because I tried these different experiences, I eventually came to the realization that the setting just wasn't for me, and I've got nothing against going to the club or going to different sorts of society or winter balls, but yeah, that environment, it just isn't for me. And this builds onto my point about being an introvert at university. It's very important to test the waters and try new things. Go outside your comfort zone to an extent, especially in the first semester at university, and then throughout the year, first year, it's very important you use this time and this luxury in a sense to understand what your favorite social activities are. When time becomes a bit more tighter in second and third year, you don't want to be wasting it on things you don't enjoy. So it's very important to understand what you enjoy and then focus on that so you can get the best out of your university experience. My second point is about making friends as an introvert at university. Now, this is difficult for everyone, regardless of whether you're extroverted or introverted. You're just thrown into this completely new environment. It's a shock to the system, and ultimately everyone is in the same boat. Everyone has the same anxieties about making new friends, so please do not think you're the only one that is struggling to make friends. And putting this in the context of introverts, quality over quantity of friends, I believe, is very important. Now, I think this applies to everyone, extroverts included, but especially for introverts. We thrive off limited but meaningful connections that we can ultimately go back to, rely on, and enjoy the best time with without having to recharge after. Having, say, 2 or 3 good friends that you have common interests with and really enjoy spending time with is much better than keeping tabs on a dozen acquaintances that you message for the sake of messaging. It's very important that you don't water yourself down and spread yourself too thin, and you find the perfect amount of people to be your friend. It's very important to be proactive at university and take the initiative in speaking to different people in lectures, different society fairs, different events, just everywhere. Just do your absolute best to speak to people. Just keep trying and keep persisting with trying to make new friends, and yeah, you will eventually get there. The key word there is eventually too, because different people make friends at different paces. Some people might find their lifelong friends in a week, other people might take weeks or months to do it. I mean, and that's perfectly normal. I think it took me about 4 or 5 months to really realize who my true university friends were, and the ones that I ultimately still spend so much time to today in our final year of university. Don't feel scared of being rejected, so to speak. You'll have tons of unsuccessful interactions at university. Don't feel disheartened by this, because you're testing the waters, you're trying your best to make friends, and you're going outside your comfort zone, especially as an introvert. So many times in first year where I went out of my way to try and become friends with people, but they just, I guess, didn't feel the same way or didn't reciprocate that energy, and I'm sure I've been guilty of doing that myself without realizing. So just ultimately recognize not everything will go 100% to plan. You'll find people you connect with. Just be honest, truthful, and be yourself. That's the most important thing. Don't feel obliged that you have to make friends in first year and after that it's a complete you're completely locked off from making friends beyond that. Ultimately, you can make friends in second and third year too, and that's perfectly normal. There's no limit or restriction as to the number of friends you can make and when you can make them and how you make them. Ultimately, the attitude of rushing to make so many people your friends, almost treating it as like a competition of how many friends I can make during Freshers Week, that's not going to lead to happiness whatsoever. It's very important that you just end up speaking to tons of people and eventually gauge as to who you share interests with, who you, I guess, have the best connection with, and ultimately that will lead to the most meaningful connections and your best friends down the line. Next point is on the fear of missing out and not feeling guilty about saying no to certain social events. experience. From day one at university, so much information is being thrown at you. Academically, with lectures and module selection, career-wise as well, with all the internships, and then socially too, with society fairs, different events being run in different clubs and venues. And in the chaos of the first 2-3 weeks at university, don't feel compelled to attend every single social event. Although you need to make the most of first year, only attend events that you really want to attend. For introverts especially, large social gatherings can be really draining, and it's especially important you take the time to recharge, prioritize your mental health, and feel relaxed about the fact that you're going to spend a night in, for example, in your hall, just, I don't know, watching Netflix or just chilling out, whereas your other hallmates might be going to the club. That's perfectly acceptable. To help cope with how hectic and chaotic welcome week can be, and just generally the first 2 or 3 weeks of university, I'd recommend being quite proactive and planning out which events you're going to attend, which events you're not going to attend, the societies you plan on joining. Prioritize and space everything out so you can do everything quite healthily and in an enjoyable manner. So yeah, that's the end of this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, rating, and subscribe to the University of Nottingham's YouTube channel. I've got my own YouTube channel as well, which is called Current and Carer, and yeah, I just make economics related as well as just general education related videos if you're interested in checking them out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.